وإياك نستعين اهدنا المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغلوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. السلام عليكم.
Thank you, Aisha. It's a glad welcome we bring to you filled with knowledge, enhancement we all share. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to welcome our Principal Ma'am, Dr. Suhasini Ernest, Director Dr. M. Shahul Hamid Sir, and all the students present here.
It is a moment of extreme pleasure to welcome our resource person, Dr. Tanushree Assistant Professor of KC University, Hyderabad. She has completed MA, MPhil, PhD in English and Foreign Language University, Hyderabad.
Also, she has qualified UGC National Eligibility Test NET for lectureship in linguistics, received UGC JRF Award and University Grants Commission Senior and Junior Research Fellowship. She has an experience of 3 years in teaching as an assistant professor of English and 7 years experience as a UGC research scholar. Now this session to a resource person.
Thank you so much. Thank you for those lovely words. Good morning to all the dignitaries. Thank you for inviting me. And so shall I start my presentation, ma'am? Shall I start my presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the topic which I have chosen to talk for this particular webinar is skills of professional English, a path towards employability. Now, how important English is, I don't have to tell this young generation now. They know that there is some importance of English because now, if we see in every college or in every university, we are pushing them towards to think that what are the applications of professional English and all. So my topic which I have chosen is like what are the skills which are there in professional English, and gradually they will take you towards employability. Like you are, I think, BCA students. For you also it's the same. For technical students also it's also the same. Even for arts and other commerce students also, professional English is something that is very very important, which will lead you towards employability and get you better job opportunities. So let's get started. You will understand professional English when you will understand the difference between general English and professional English. Now, general English, so far you are engrossed into general English, right? So general English is commonly used for day-to-day conversations, business related things are not conversed in those English. Whereas business English or professional English is learned and used for specific purposes. People who learn general English usually, stay on the same level as the others, while those who learn business English advance further to acquire relevant skills and techniques. Now, people who desire to learn the specific communication see here communication means the English communication we are talking about, right? Because English is the lingua franca. So whenever I say a language or communication, that is only English, no other language here. So people who desire to learn this specific communication skill must expect the use of certain terminologies that tells it apart, or keeps it apart from general English. On the other hand, people who learn general English might not find the need to learn specific terms. right? Not only that, the approach for the general English leans more on the basic conversational day-to-day use of words, while business English is systematic, it's complex mode of speaking, and there are certain styles and other things which you have to incorporate in order to be a good professional English speaker, writer, listener, or a reader, right? So moving on to the next slide, why professional English? Why professional English? Why not only general English? Why? That's why, like, why we are here. So first thing is that employability, right? Get the job you want. Oftentimes, a good level of business English can help you to get the job which you wouldn't land without the knowledge of this global language in business context. Nowadays, it's rather indispensable to be able to express yourselves confidently on public platform if you don't know the basic or nuances of business environment, or how the professional English, you can say. So business English and professional English, they are more or less the same thing, so I'll be just juggling the words in between. Okay, so even smaller companies, more often than not, do business with their foreign partners, and consequently require their employees to have the ability to communicate freely, both in written and spoken English. So, if you want to improve your business writing, you can find writing or reading and other things. You can find many tips over here. And today I am going to share a lot of tips with you so that you can increase that part of yours. Now, it's also easier to get promoted, not only getting a job, but it's also easier for you to get promoted when you are in a job already, and you can take advantage over your colleagues or external candidates due to your business English skills or professional English skills. So if you can participate in business meetings and video conferences, give presentations, negotiate effectively, make phone calls and exchange correspondences, letters and all, you stand a chance of being picked out of, for a promotion before others in your department. So that's why employability is very, very important. So, and uh, and for that we need business English, right? So basically, I summarized all of these. So here in point wise, you can see, understand the business world, take your English to the next level, know current news on and other trends, and also basically sound more professional. When you will be, after your completion of your degrees, when you will be entering the business world, that time you will be called professionals, and you cannot make use of general English there, right? Now, when we speak about any language or mastering any language in the second language or third language, and there we talk about listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills, right? So these are the magical skills of any language. And here, as I told you, that as you all know, that it's about English, professional English. So we are going to deal with professional English listening, speaking, writing, and reading. So let's go to the first skill, the skills of professional listening. Very, very important. Now, listening is like all is different from hearing. First, you have to understand that simply hearing is not listening. There is a difference between listening and hearing. Listening is something which we call as the ability to accurately receive and interpret messages in the communication process. And listening is the key to all effective communication. You can see here how, like, out of all the skills, how much percentage listening skills holds. Larry Baker reports in listening behaviors that 70 to 75% of a person's working day is spent in communication, of which is listening mostly. But this is like an average of that data, like a survey of data has been given over here. Then, if I have to give you some tips on professional listening skills, then first and most important thing will be paying attention. right? Whenever you are listening, pay attention. One goal of active listening and being an effective listener is to set a comfortable tone that gives coach or an opportunity to think and speak. Allow or wait and give some time and then listen. Don't withhold judgment before listening. So active listening requires an open mind. Okay, if you have already some assumptions, preconceived notions inside your head, then you won't be able to listen properly, or you won't be able to interpret properly rather. So, as a listener, and you have to open to new ideas, new perspectives, and new possibilities when practicing and active listening. So, even when good listeners have strong views, they suspend judgment, hold any criticisms, and avoid interruptions like arguing or selling their point right away. So, these things you need to be very, very careful of and reflect. When you are the listener, don't assume that you understand your code, you understand whoever is telling you something correctly. Okay, so how will you do that? Reflecting is an active listening technique that indicates that you and your counterpart are on the same page. So whenever you are listening something, you have to make gestures that you are reflecting. Then comes clarification. Clarify. Don't be shy to ask questions about any issue that is ambiguous, okay, or unclear when engaging in active listening. Then summarize. Restating key themes as the conversation proceeds confirms and solidifies your grasp of others person's point of view. So it also helps both parties to be clear on mutual responsibilities and follow up. So briefly summarize what you have understood, and while practice active listening, ask the other person to do the same. Also, sharing is important. Active listening is about sharing also, like if I have, how will you share in listening, right? That you need to know. So sharing is that first about understanding the other person, then about being understood as the listener. So as you gain a clearer understanding of the other person's perspective, you can begin to introduce your own ideas, feelings, and suggestions. You might talk about a similar experience you had, or share an idea that was triggered by a comment made previously in the conversation. So you have to keep these things in mind while you are listening. So be mentally prepared to listen, evaluate the speech, fight distractions by closing off sources of sound and other things. Be open minded, ask questions to clarify doubts, and also, very important, maintain an eye contact. These non-verbal communication things are very, very crucial. So when you are listening, you need to maintain an eye contact also. Don't prepare your responses while the speaker is speaking, and don't multitask also when you are listening something, right? So moving on to the next skill of professional speaking, that is professional English, that is your speaking skills. Right? Speaking skills. Now, speaking is something which gives us the ability to convey information verbally, right? And in a way that the listener can understand. So here, like four things should be there, which see, speaking skill will have these sub skills, which will make you a good speaker, basically. So fluency is number one. It's about how comfortable and confident you are in speaking English. If you speak for an extended period of time, that is an indicator of strong fluency. It is also about showing a clear connection between each point that you are trying to make. So this skill means that the listener can follow that what you are saying and doesn't get lost. Second important thing while you are speaking would be vocabulary, definitely, because if you don't have the words to say what you want to say, then you can't say it, right? So the more interesting words you know, the stronger your speaking skills are. I would say. The best way to grow your vocabulary is to read in English and make a note of new words that you encounter in a vocabulary notebook. Then grammar, of course, which is a micro skill, we call it, the dreaded G word, right? Grammar does matter, and the fewer mistakes you make, the better your speaking skill becomes. It's a very, very basic thing, and we assume at this level you already have your grammar is quite strong. That is the foundation, right? Then the pronunciation, of course, when you're speaking, pronunciation should be spot on. You cannot mispronounce whenever you are speaking any language. Actually, you have to try your best to pronounce it correctly. And when it comes to professional English, like English in general, there also you have to work towards it. So it's a complex area with a lot of sub skills that can be practiced. I'm not discussing about those for this particular webinar, that will be very, very complicated, but the basic rule of a thumb is that an average speaker can speak and understand. A skilled speaker can use the sub skills of pronunciation to emphasize and make the communicative effect of their speech more impactful, right? The person who has good pronunciation skills, definitely his skill will be taken as more impactful. So you have to work towards these four sub skills of reading skills. So, and few other tips, if I have to give you, would be like, do plan ahead to determine the message you want to communicate. Don't say anything abruptly. When you are, see, general speaking English is different and professional English is different. In general English, you can take those liberties, but when you are in a professional atmosphere, you need to take care of all these things. Do make sure the timing is right. If you need to speak to an employee or a manager, do communicate from a position of strength. Get your facts straight before you speak. That is very, very crucial. Do make sure your statements are clear and free of unnecessary jargons. You know those jargons, some people will try to complicate the spoken language. Vocabulary doesn't mean that you have to forcefully make use of certain words which are not necessary there, right? So those are called jargons. So try to avoid them. Do not let any personal feeling interfere in business or professional matters. Watch your body language also for any signs that can be translated as hostile or that may cause discomfort for your listeners. Okay? Don't assume that an audience will understand your main thoughts on a subject. Spell out your thinking clearly but without being compromising. Don't be afraid of making any changes if you are presented with new information or a different point of view. You should always speak out. Remember that communication is a two-way street, right? Then let's move on to the next skill, that is skills of professional reading, a very, very important skill, or you can call it generally also, if we say that reading skill, it's very, very crucial. If you are a good reader, then you can become a good writer as well, they say, right? And reading and writing are very, very crucial. See, all the skills are very important, but some skills are like you have to practice them a lot. You have to uh, be very, very careful of these skills, because listening and speaking, it's not that complex. If you are practicing it, it will come to you, but reading and writing takes a lot of time. So reading is the process of constructing meaning from written texts only. So so very complex skill requiring the coordination of a number of interrelated sources. So be very clear about exactly what you are looking for. Don't just aimlessly read anything. That is very important. Perhaps you will look for answers to questions, general understanding of a topic or an issue, detailed writer's opinion, or evaluation of a writer's position, or identification of a writer, writer's perspective or arguments that support your position, explanations, statistics, definitions, examples, it can be anything. Okay, so purposeful reading of this nature can help you read faster and more selectively, I would say. It can also help your concentration and your ability to remember. So, the next thing is scanning when you are reading. See, these are the reading strategies. Scanning is something when you are reading, and see, don't worry about these words and don't become very conscious when you are reading. These tips you follow, these strategies you try to inculcate, and things will fall very, very naturally. So, scanning is reading quickly to search for specific information. All the time, it's not possible for us to read the entire thing, right? So, some strategies will bring on. Suppose your boss will give you a 30 pages document and he wants to write a summary of those things immediately. So, you have to quickly do the things, right? So, you have to scan and read quickly to search the specific information or something like that. So for that, you will be scanning. You may not realize it, but you are already good at scanning. When we read, we actually scan. You scan, for example, when checking a TV guide or a phone book. Scanning may allow you to read up to 1500 words a minute. So we all keep doing that. Then comes skimming. Skimming is slightly different from scanning. Skimming is reading quickly to gain a general idea. Skimming may allow you to read up to 1000 words a minute. Skimming basically helps you to identify whether or not to continue reading, what to read carefully, and where the best place is to begin. So there will be times when you need to do more scanning than skimming the text in the way described above. So it totally depends. Now, next comes the marking texts, which can help you concentrate. See, we keep on doing this. I think since your childhood, we used to mark our text. Like, that's a beautiful reading strategy. When you are doing that, you are identifying the key points and making the book read easier, right? So, next is, even if you are a native English speaker, you may at times feel overwhelmed by the amount of unfamiliar vocabulary you encounter. Now, so of course, as a college student, you have a great opportunity and need to build your vocabulary. So concern any glossaries or use a dictionary. Keep a list of new words. Record their definitions. Okay, and write example sentences which show meaning and usage. When using your dictionary, be discerning. Know which words are to be ignored and see if it is possible to guess the meanings of words. You may be able to do this if you can guess the meaning, right? Guess the meaning using the context. We always do that. And sometimes we guess, like suffixes and prefixes will be there. We know that some suffixes are adjective suffixes, some suffixes are nominal suffixes, and doing that also we sometimes guess the meaning. The last one is that try to make a study buddy or have a study buddy or a study group. Reading is always fun and entertaining. See, reading rather than reading alone all the time, if you have a peer group of readers, then it's always, we say it's the best thing. But that time also be careful to be focused, that you should be, see, when we are in study groups, what we do usually do is that some points we discuss, right? So you can also make your points by carefully reading the text. So what you need to do, and you may find that by sharing notes, explaining and asking and quizzing each other, right? You can increase your ability to understand and reflect upon and remember key points in texts. So these are the things, like reading strategies, which are very crucial in order to improve the reading skills. Then comes the writing skills. I would say the most difficult one. Okay, writing is something which takes ages to master. So you have, but you can't leave. Like, since it is difficult, you can't say that the let's leave it. I will be focusing on the other three skills, but I can't neglect writing a little bit. No, you can't do. Okay, so because writing, and especially in professional atmosphere, you have to do a lot of documentations. Don't feel that okay, we don't have English classes now, like we are technical students, or we are computer application students, so we are done with English. No, English will be after you forever. Okay, whenever you are working somewhere also, there also you might be asked to write different types of letters, memos, reports, and you need to compose emails, all those things. A lot of writing you need to do, and you have to master the skill. How will you do that? Right? It's a gradual, slow process. You won't see an instant change in your writing skill. Slowly you have to go ahead. First, you know your facts. I'm roughly giving you some tips, I would say. Know your facts. You will lose credibility quickly if you don't know the facts. That is very, very crucial. See, we are here discussing about professional English writing skills. So, which means see, when you will be working in some government agencies or software offices, there you have to know your facts before you write anything. You have to be specific and accurate. So don't rely on any old source to give you the information you need. Many websites quote incomplete or incorrect information. Just don't copy and paste those things. Focus on the official information or official institution sites, like those run by the government agencies or educational organizations, or well established businesses. So if your source cites another study or report, find the original and interpret the data yourself. Don't trust a stat just because it's reported by a news bulletin or a news outlet. Do your own fact checking. Very, very important in professional business writing. Be concise. This is not general English, this is with professional English, so you have to be concise. Whether you are writing for clients or colleagues, remember that everyone is short on time in a business atmosphere. In order to get and keep people's attention, you need to be concise. Remember that shorter items are likely to be read on a mobile device, right? So use your short sentences and paragraphs to keep text readable, and put your main point in the first sentence. So, for that. For longer reports, use sections, headings, and formatting tools like bold font to draw attention to key ideas. So, these are some tricks. See, every type of writing, report writing will have some do's and don'ts, and some tips will be there. For different types of writings and documents, there are different tips, rules, whatever you call it, are available. So I'm not going into in detail of all those specific things. Here in general, I'm going to discuss about how you are going to improve your writing skills. Then look for potential misunderstandings. Okay, once you have completed a draft, ask yourself, how could this be misunderstood? Take a step back from your writing and read it from the audience's point of view. Like, this is easy to do. You have to be patient. That's it. Look for words with multiple meanings and replace them with more precise alternatives. Now, if you are describing a process, use sequencing and transition words like first, second, or next to help you reader follow along. Double check your work and make your writing as clear as possible. You can use some online tools as well. Now you are very, very fortunate that so many online tools are available. It's always worth getting help with your writing, and plenty of online tools offer great help. Now, I would suggest some online tools like Easy Word Counter. This is a tool which checks the length of your writing. Right? I think you all must be knowing if you are like, I don't know whether you are first year students or like, but by now you should know about these tools. State of writing, right? There is a site where full of helpful writing ideas or guides are given. Then Grammarly, everyone knows. This browser extension helps you with grammar and spelling in everything from WordPress to email and other things. And also cite it in. Use this tool to cite your sources correctly, and many other tools are available. Be detailed from the get-go. Okay, nothing is worse than having to send emails back and forth all day trying to clarify the details. So give readers everything they need, so they don't have to email back asking for more information. Nothing will alienate a potential client or co-worker more than sending something that's far too general to be useful. Also, while writing, see, while speaking also you have to watch your tone, and while writing also in business setup you have to watch your tone. Tone doesn't mean that you have to talk to that person face to face. It also affects your writing. So when you are writing, use a friendly tone that invites readers to pay attention while being courteous to them. They will appreciate this more than you would think, right? So make use of those beautiful words which will make your writing appealing or pleasing. But it again, the tone depends. If you are annoyed with a particular supplier, then your tone has to change, right? So accordingly, your tone will be changing in writing also. Now know when writing is appropriate in a business setup and when it is not. Sometimes sending a message or an email isn't the best way to get in touch. It might be better to pick up the phone and set, call that person. So you have to identify like which best suits that particular event. Now, always edit and proofread. Very, very crucial. Don't skip that part, students, because you will be surprised at how many professionals skip this step and at so much of cost. No matter what you are writing, ensure that it's properly proofread and edited before it's sent. Okay, even a single letter in the wrong place in the wrong word can lead to embarrassment later. Spell check won't catch everything. Okay, so you have to manually do that. So make sure you read your writing carefully. So these are the four magical skills we say, and they are all linked together. You cannot leave any of these skills and say I'm not good in speaking but I'm good in listening, reading or writing. No, they feed each other. Like reading feeds writing, right? Or listening feeds speaking. You will become a good speaker if you are a good listener. You will become a good writer if you are a good reader. Now, here we are talking about employability. So, employability is a combination of micro and macro language skills. Micro skills are your pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary that we have discussed. These are the micro skills. And the magical skills, the macro language skills, are the LSRW skills. With that, you include the soft skills. Okay, this is not my presentation's topic, but when we speak about employability, these soft skills go hand in hand. In fact, communication is a type of soft skill, right? So all those negotiation skills and teamwork skills, all those things are very, very crucial with your combination of your micro macro skills, and also the hard skills, of course, your marks. All those will lead you towards getting will help you to get good jobs, and or not only getting good jobs but to survive in an office or in a business setup. Now Under these skills there are many skills which you have to which comes in professional business English, like conversational skills, speaking skills, interview skills, GD skills, presentation skills, telephone etiquettes, negotiation skills, writing skills. Again, writing skills will have so many different types of writings and all. So you, if you are working towards your LSRW skills with your micro skills, gradually you have to see the rules and do's and don'ts of these sub skills, and then you can say that you are moving towards good employability options. Now, these four things I have kept separately because we have talked, like we discussed about so many things, okay, like reading, writing, and all those things. But practice is the key. I can give you inputs like do this, don't do that, this is that, and all. But it totally depends on you how much time you are putting or how much effort you are putting towards. Uh, towards becoming a good listener or a good speaker or a good writer or a good reader. You need to practice all these skills. Nowadays, lot of options are available, right? Online, so many things are available. You can practice worksheets for to improve your writing skills. For reading comprehension passages, you can read and practice. Then speaking related activities are also there in different websites, and listening, of course, you can listen to so many audios and answer the questions, and all those stuffs are there. Self assessment is very, very important. First, you need to understand where you stand. Accordingly, you can plan and prepare and then practice. The three important P's we say, right? Plan, prepare, and practice. So you first assess yourself, self assessment. You will get a lot of quizzes online based on LSRW skills. So you try to practice as much as like you practice and you assess yourself, like self assessing these things, which where you will be tested on all of these areas, and you will gradually become a good professional English communicator, I would say. And of course, soft skills. You can't, as I told you, that you cannot go without these soft skills. Soft skills, hard skills with these sub skills and other things go hand in hand. So together they will make you good professional. And don't forget the non-verbal skills also, okay? Because sometimes even if we are not saying anything, but tend to we tend to through our body or our eye contact, we just try to communicate, right? Even if we are not speaking, we are not writing, we are not listening and all, but through our gestures, postures, and other activities, you can communicate a lot. Okay, so I think I have summarized everything. I am like whatever I had to say, I have delivered. So I'm open to questions now. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Ma'am,
you.
really, the session is very nice, ma'am.
Okay.
Really, the
My
order
pleasure.
in which you teach, learning, speaking, reading, and writing, the techniques what you taught is really is nice
Yeah.
because our students have all of them in their third year syllabus.
Okay.
But fortunately, now our first year students have the opportunity to learn everything from you. Really, the self assessment portion, what you explained,
Yeah,
is
ma'am.
really
And
nice,
you can
ma'am.
get it online, ma'am. They like online, so many self-assessment tools are available. You can get it very easily. Like every day, it hardly takes students. It hardly takes some time. Okay, so just you can assess yourself where you stand, and accordingly you can work on those other things, exercises and other things.
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am. I ask my students to do so, ma'am.
yes, ma'am. Okay.
The session is very interesting, ma'am, because what the slides you have shown
Yeah.
is very basic to the first year
Yeah,
students, but
simple. Yeah.
yeah, very simple,
Just
but
different
it's very
ways.
new to our first year students.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I thought that I should first they should know what are these skills, because they are then only they can go to other levels.
yeah. Usually, our students thinks that speaking good English is a communication skill, but after your slides, they understood that what is real communication is.
Yeah, because there is a difference, and we are
Yeah, fluency is not a matter. Along with the fluency, much more things are required. They understood it.
yes, lot of other
Really,
things. Like actually, there are many more things, but time doesn't permit, and that will be an overdose for you. So I think that summarize like this. If you are working towards this, that is enough for you. If you have understood these things, basic things only, then you can. And tomorrow you can do some pronunciation related things, phonetics you can learn, and all those things. But these are the basic skills. And basically, I concentrated on the professional part, not the general part. General listening can be anything else, but I focused on the professional things. You students should understand that it's different. There is a difference, right, ma'am? And of course, you are there. The faculty will be guiding them towards better employability and
sure,
jobs.
ma'am. Not only in the employability, but in real life also, in everyday life also, it is very useful. In the small, small things, for example, eye to eye contact, asking
Hmm.
your queries in time of listening,
Yeah,
really, they are very useful, ma'am.
yeah, that's what.
Thank you, ma'am. Really, the session
My
is very
pleasure,
useful, ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you very much for your time, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Girls, do you have any questions? Anyone?
No questions? So you have understood everything? Okay, fine.
It's my privilege to
Yes.
propose a word of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who work to make this session happen. Thank you, ma'am, for
Thank you
taking
so
your
much.
time to join us today on this informative session. Also, I would like to thank our respected principal, ma'am, Dr. Suhasini Ernest, Director, Dr. M. Shahul Hamid, sir, worthy teachers, for providing us this wonderful opportunity to enhance ourselves. And also, I thank all the students for keeping attention and participating, making use of this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Really,
Yeah, I had a good
very nice session.
nice
Thank you very
time.
much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Okay.
sparing time for us.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Up, ma'am. Shall we end up?